Welcome, everybody, to the fourth official Octane AI community meetup live here in the metaverse or Zoom or the internet, whatever you want to call it. But thank you for taking time out of your day to come listen to music and come hang out and talk about how the heck do you grow on the internet? How do you grow your e-commerce brand? We have a really great show or event today. I'm super pumped about it. I feel like these just keep getting better. So if you've caught any of our last ones, this one's going to be the best one so far. I feel really confident about it, and you're going to be here to watch it live. So, one, what happened last Wednesday? I'll go over that, and then two, we'll go right into our live interview and Q&A with how INH uses quizzes to build a multi-million-dollar Shopify brand and stand out in their industry. They actually have lots of quizzes, and so they are very hardcore on their quiz game, and really excited to share with you all how exactly they're doing it and how they think about e-commerce and brand and getting to know customers and their strategy. So what happened last Wednesday? So again, we do this every single Wednesday. This is the fourth one. We will continue to do it into infinity until, for forever. Last Wednesday, we had a really great show. It was our first panel. And so we did Klavio secrets for marketers who driven over $250 million in sales for top Shopify stores. And we talked about quiz and retention. We talked to a bunch of experts. We had people from Klavio and FieldMade, a bunch of different agencies and freelancers and consultants who are just amazing at Klavio personalization. And you will definitely want to go check out our YouTube. You can just type in later Octane, youtube.com/OctaneAI, or if you want to be really fancy, I put a QR code on the screen over here. You can scan it on your phone, and then you're stuck with watching the video on your phone. But it's about an hour, and it's really, really great content talking about how can you get to know your customers when they first come to your website, because otherwise you don't know who the heck they are. And what kind of questions can you ask them? What can you do with the data when you ask them the questions? How can you use that to either recommend the right product or use their answers to empathize with why are they shopping for this product today? What are their goals? What are their concerns? What are their desires? And how can you kind of reflect that back to them to give them the best shopping experience possible? So definitely go check out our YouTube. We almost have 500 subscribers, and so I'd be super pumped if we could just get to 500 today. I think only like 5 of you have to subscribe to get there, and we're going to just keep working on our YouTube and keep making it better and better. It's not a channel we've previously worked on, but now we're doing all this great video content, and we would like to give you as much information and knowledge and expertise as humanly possible. So go check out our YouTube. So today, and then I will stop talking and we'll get to the really great stuff. We're going to go over how INH uses quizzes to build a multi-million-dollar Shopify brand and stand out in their industry. So you're going to get ready all your questions, post them in the chat. Later, you could even come on video or audio if you want and ask them. But at the very least, think about them. Feel free to just post stuff in the chat as we're going. We can even do little interruptions and answer your questions live. So to get to this, let me introduce Jamila, account manager lead at Octane AI, who is going to run this amazing event for us. Jamila, let me bring you up here 1 second. Okay, here you go. Jamila, over to you.
Thanks so much, Matt. As Matt mentioned, I'm an account manager here at Octane AI, and I have the amazing pleasure of working on such an incredible team, and we get the honor of supporting such incredible brands such as INH. And so lucky to talk to Lisa today, who is a retention marketing manager at INH. And so just to get started, Lisa, could you give us an overview of the brand and what it stands for and how it's unique?
Yeah, sure. So at INH, we're all about helping people celebrate their individuality through hair, whatever hair solution that they might need, from wigs to hair care to clip-in ponytails. We're all about helping people feel their best when it comes to their hair.
Awesome. I think one of the amazing things of working with your brand for almost 2 years is that you're so inclusive with the models that you have, with the UGC that you create. And I really love that you are always releasing collections and always trying to have new fun quizzes. And as Matt kind of alluded to, you do have quite a few quizzes, and I've had so much fun, working with them. And we started with the ponytail and extension quiz, and we branded and added, fun quizzes. And I think because of that, we have a lot of great zero party data that we've collected with all of these really amazing quizzes. So just to kind of talk a little bit about quizzes. So how are you using Octane AI today, and how's it helped you reach your goals?
Yeah, so one of the key ways that we obviously use the Octane quizzes now is basically just to help people feel confident about the products that they're buying. So that's why we invest pretty heavily in having, quite a few different quizzes that someone can take. So whether you're someone who's a first time extensions buyer or you're looking specifically for your best ponytail, we want people to feel confident that they're selecting the right product for them, and Octane is obviously what really helps us to do that. And even beyond just the right style for them, color matching, which is, huge for us as a brand because, you're looking online, you're looking at those photos of different models or influencers or regular people wearing our hair. And of course, having a color matching quiz as we do really helps to empower people to feel like they're making the choice that really will work for them.
I think one of the great things, speaking of your color matching quiz, is that I think when we think of quizzes, sometimes we think of, ask questions, so particular result for people to buy things. But with the color matching quiz, I know there was like an issue with customer service, like spending a lot of time trying to individually match the colors with, customers, which is incredible, first of all, to have that for your brand. But I know that specifically that the color matching quiz was helping with that. Have you seen, help with that with the color matching quiz launching?
Yeah, definitely. Some customers are obviously going to be a little bit more shy to want to reach out to CX, like, and send a photo of themselves. So we do see that the color matching quiz has been a huge aid to people. We see a lot of people, taking that quiz and, using those results. And so that's really been huge for us to add to our arsenal, just to kind of help customers feel like, again, they're choosing something that's really going to work for them.
Were there any other, like, specific problems or pain points that your customers were having while choosing products?
Yeah, I mean, I know probably keep saying it, but really color matching is just the biggest thing of all because you're buying hair and you're buying it online without, seeing it, of course, in real life. And so just wanting to find the product that will suit your hair best, whether you're someone that has ombre hair or highlighted hair, figuring out which ponytail or which set of extensions is really going to look the most natural and blend the best with your own kind of base hair color. That's been a huge thing.
So, speaking of zero-party data, I think we kind of brushed upon it, but how important is zero-party data for you, and is it currently a big focus?
It is, and Octane honestly is really what helps us to gather a lot of that. It's been a huge resource for us. So not only are we using it from the perspective of like segmentation and enhancing experiences in Klavio, but even piggybacking off of that and using those particular types of segments within SMS channels as well, to make sure that we're hitting people with messaging that is resonating with them or will resonate with them because it's a product or a push that will help to solve a particular problem that they have that they may have indicated in one of our quizzes. And even more so, looking at the actual data we're collecting to see, what are products that customers are looking for, or what are products that maybe we need to delve more into, or even who our customer is and where they're at, whether from like a skill set perspective or a hair texture, hair length perspective. All of that is something that Octane helps us to gather and something that we look at when informing like future strategies.
Awesome. That is so happy to hear that. I know you guys have amazing emails that you create, and I know there's like a lot of flows that you have created from the various quizzes that we've built together. So happy to hear about that. So, what are your key marketing channels, and where do you see your biggest successes?
So on the retention side of things, of course, email and SMS are huge, and we would kind of bucket Octane kind of within that realm as well. Of course, they enhance a lot of what we do in that realm, but social, of course, is a huge thing for us, both organically and in paid channels. Just a great place for exposure and to see like new customers and engage with them and really create like a space for community.
And I do also want to say that you guys have an amazing community on Facebook. I know there's a group as well, and so I do love, like I keep mentioning, like the inclusivity that you feature in the brand. I think that's part of the great success that you have is really making people feel special when wearing, your brands, and it's
Mhm.
accessible. And so that's amazing. Have you seen any issues with the recent Facebook and iOS changing affecting your marketing strategy at all?
Of course, especially on the email side, it's brutal the loss of that open rate metric when it comes to general engagement. But of course, you pivot and you try different things. And again, not to sound like a broken horse here, but truly, the whenever we do add those elements of personalization, whether in flows or in campaigns, we usually do see stronger performance there. And so I think having other levers that we can try to pull and pivot with, of course, like doesn't negate the change that happened, but definitely makes it easier to navigate through as like new waters are being kind of charted.
So I'm just gonna see. I think I'm seeing some like questions popping up from Matt. So I guess I'll ask one of his. What is the most interesting thing that you've learned about your customers from your quizzes?
A lot of our customers are first time uh, hair extension buyers. And that totally reshapes the way that you think about reaching out to them because there's a lot of education involved there versus someone who may have bought extensions before from a previous brand. That insight was definitely a huge one for us and something that we were able to uncover directly from our quizzes.
Awesome. Another one coming in. Have you run any specific email campaigns promoting your quizzes? And if so, did you see a significant uptick in sales?
We do have usually email campaigns specifically promoting quizzes. So we do promote our quizzes, in evergreen messaging that we have that go out, to new subscribers or subscribers who take certain actions. But of course, every single time we do launch a quiz, we support that across, our many marketing channels. With the color matching quiz being again just a key example of that, seeing like a significant growth from there for something that's a little bit more fun, like our Care Bears quiz or a Hello Kitty quiz, which sadly, if you go to our site, you won't see that anymore. But we did have that. That's definitely more of like a fun branding moment and an engagement play. And that's the lens that we kind of take when doing some of those shorter, more fun quizzes of just trying to kind of keep the community engaged and keep them having fun because I think people love having those little moments like that. I think probably everyone here is guilty of taking one of those types of quizzes themselves online. So kind of doing a mix of both.
Speaking of some of the marketing channels that you currently use, I do also want to plug that you guys have an amazing Instagram channel. Like Instagram is on point. You guys have so much fun content. I know there's been a few times where we've marketed the quiz on Instagram, and I know we're kind of maybe segueing also into TikTok eventually, which will be great. And that'll be really, really fun. Matt loves the Care Bear quiz, so thought about that.
Hmm.
Another question that came in is how would you approach, I guess, a new customer? Sorry, I'm reading it. How would you approach a new to product client versus an experienced user? Sorry.
I think it's just a lot more education and really showing how the products are versatile and how it'll work for them and thinking about some of those questions that naturally come up when someone does try a new product. And thankfully, again, because of our community, because of how engaged our CX team is, we do know a lot of those like pain points and questions that customers may have before making the jump or the commitment, or even once they've gotten their hair and it's kind of like what do I do now? And so I think using a mix of just kind of what you know and then making sure that you're communicating to customers just things that will help them to have a successful experience with your product.
I think something else that you do a really great job of is, you have a quiz, we have the questions and answers, but then you also have a follow up that you can have on an email. So you may not catch the sale on the actual quiz, but maybe you send up some following emails that have, like captures them. So it's something that you also do that's really, really amazing. So
Mhm.
another question is, do you find unique customers will take the same quiz multiple times over time? For example, maybe they'll want to try a different style of ponytail.
We actually encourage customers to do that. So we definitely do see that some will end up doing that as well. And if, of course, you've dyed your hair, that's usually another sign that you may need to actually take the quiz again to figure out your new shade. I myself am guilty of that. I know that my shade used to be dark brown, and alas, I added a bunch of red to my hair. So I probably need to figure out if I need a new pony color. So it is something that we encourage people to do as they change their hair and have fun with it, because we find a lot of our customers do have fun with their hair and it's a means of expression for them. So they probably will need to re-engage with some of those helpful quizzes.
Some of the other things I guess that I would just add to it is you can also create, and INH does a great job of this, creating fun quizzes and just creating more and more quizzes.
Hmm.
And they have this really awesome landing page where they have all their quizzes lined so you can kind of choose your own adventure for your quizzes. But they're always adding these new fun quizzes, which gets people
Hmm.
back to the site and then maybe taking the ponytail or extension or color matching quiz. So, so much fun. So, other than driving more sales, what would you say is the number one benefit from the quiz?
For sure, the zero party data collection, I think it's huge, because we're able to ask questions that we really need insight on and then tie that back to profiles and then see, of course, how those particular quiz takers go on to engage with the brand, both in the short term and in the long term. And then, of course, can use that for segmentation across a multitude of channels. And that's just huge for us.
Speaking of the quiz again, so the results that you're seeing, did anything surprise you?
Um, They actually have much stronger click rates compared to, our regular flows. And it's interesting because when you think about certain flows that are also pulling in dynamic features, whether you've browsed a product or whether you've cart abandoned a product, you'd expect it to be pretty much in line. But we do actually see when we're sending out those personalized results, really strong like levels of engagement with the people who are opening those emails and then interacting.
Awesome. I wanted to open it up and see if anyone else had any other questions for Lisa or for me. I think Matt just had, how do you personalize your flows with quiz data?
Yeah, so we actually send people results tailored to whatever it is that they were recommended. So we'll send a follow up that kind of recaps what they had seen on their results page, with, of course, an exclusive discount or incentive to shop. And then we're continually just trying to find ways to better implement that personalization across flows. And that's honestly a continual project for us and a big 2022 initiative for us. But on a basic level, that's one of the things that we do is tailor the results and the subsequent emails that people are receiving after getting their initial results.
And anyone else on on our team have any questions or any other? Let's see. Is it better to have a pop-up quiz or a set page? I find pop-ups can be annoying, and don't want to send the wrong vibe to website visitors.
I don't know if one is better or worse, but we definitely rely pretty heavily on our quiz landing page, and we also have the quiz, on other key points of real estate on our website. So just making sure that there are a lot of avenues where someone could find your quiz when they need it. So thinking about how the customer really is moving around on your site and where the quiz makes the most sense for them. And then I know Caitlin, who is on my team, she is another one of the masterminds actually really behind a lot of our quizzes. She just mentioned that we do have an exit intent pop up as well for color matching. Again, because for us, we know that that's one of the biggest hurdles that our customers face.
Another question is, do you find that quiz takers sometimes balk at giving their email to get the results to the quiz?
Definitely, I would say yes. I think whenever you have that forced email entry, it's probably going to be the question where you see the highest opt out rate. But I think it's still key for lead capture, but it's also dependent on what audience you're trying to reach with it, and where you're trying to promote it.
Something that's really great about our quiz is that if someone were to skip putting in their email address, if they make a purchase at the checkout, we will actually sync that data. So you may not capture their email like on the quiz, but if they buy, then you would, and so that will all mirror up. So that's awesome. Let's see if there's another
Would it
question.
be like, I don't know if this is crazy, but would it be possible for everybody who hasn't seen the quiz to like do like a screen share and like take the quiz together?
Yeah,
Sure,
we
Matt. Do you
could.
want me to do that, or do you want to take? I don't want to break anything.
No, you can, yeah, you can go for it.
Okay.
I think that'd be super cool. Just to, for everyone who hasn't seen it yet, we can figure out what which product we get recommended.
Okay. 1 second, please.
It's
Lisa, which
too
quiz
bad
should
the
we take
Care
them
Bear
on?
quiz is on.
What about ponytail?
Okay. Let me do one thing. Sorry, I was sharing. Can everyone see my screen?
Looks good.
Okay. So this is their beautiful site. Like, how gorgeous is this, first of all? And it's always changing. So it's great. Like every single week, I'm like, oh, there's a new thing. So on their navigational bar, they have a link for their color match me quiz, and then they have a landing page for all of their quizzes, which is really great if you do have multiple quizzes. It's one way to showcase, if you have a lot of quizzes that you start building out. So we're going to do the ponytail quiz. Okay, which style are we looking for, everybody? We'll go straight. And then we'll go for all of the inches. And then we'll wear her every day. And then, of course, it's a demographic question, which is great for zero party data. And then experience level. So I'm a first timer. My hair's clearly coily. And then some more questions that you could utilize the zero party data for, which is the donut. And then, of course, I will insert my email address here. I'm already on the list, so have a fun gift. And these are my perfect ponytails. And we can shop the bundle, or we can individually select them. So that's some really fun UGC here that shows kind of before and after. And then we have a plug for the color match quiz that I can start here if I'm not sure which color to buy. And then we also have some essentials that we could purchase as well as the YouTube video link and the ability to retake this quiz. So that is the ponytail quiz.
Looks so good. Wow, really awesome.
Were there any other questions for Lisa? Yes. Is there a sweet spot for the number of questions?
I usually defer to you on that Jamila. Is it that 10 to 15 range essentially?
It varies, and we say like 8 to 12, but honestly, depending on the vertical, I think it really depends because there are some quizzes that it makes more sense to have, more questions. It feels more personalized and you expect to have questions. Like if I have a skincare quiz, if I had two questions on the quiz, I'd be like, what is this? You're not really personalizing this experience for me. But if I had 25, I'd maybe like, why is this quiz so long? So I think it kind of depends on the vertical. And I will say that we will suggest something and then we'll let the customers kind of speak. And we could definitely delete questions, add questions, and we kind of let them tell us like how many questions are too much if we're seeing higher drop off rates. So that's kind of where we probably suggest. Let's see. Is there anything marketing wise that you're thinking of trying this year or that excites you?
I just think, I know someone had brought this up, the Klavio 2.0 integration. That's definitely something that's on our roadmap to get set up this year. Because currently the way that we were personalizing before involved a lot of branching. So definitely want to be able to take advantage of that new integration feature. So that's one of the big things for us. And then just continuing to see, how we can drive to our quizzes to create better experiences for our customers for sure.
Ben wants to know what's next for INH.
I don't know. We have some exciting new launches coming out. Of course, we just recently had an exciting collaboration come out, which we were super, super proud of with an OG beauty influencer who's super big in that space. And so always new products on the horizon for sure.
So we just talked about a little bit about the Klaviyo 2.0 integration, and I guess we haven't leveraged it yet, but we will be. Really excited about that. And your emails are already beautiful, and I think they'll be even more awesome once we kind of integrate Klaviyo 2.0 and the ability to kind of show um, the different products that we will have on the quiz. Let's see, how long did it take for you to start with no quizzes to get where you are now?
Oof. I'm actually, how long would you say? Because you've been on
Yes.
longer than me, Jamila.
Yeah, I've been there since the beginning. So we've been working together for almost 2 years. So it's taken about that time. But I will say that a lot of it is we launched the one quiz. Well, we launched the ponytail quiz and the extension quiz together. And then we've added quizzes every so often. And then we've gone back and done some split testing. And then we've also gone and like updated questions and answers. And so we've had different iterations of the same quiz. So it's just been a work in progress.
Yeah, I would say we've definitely gotten more nimble though, I think, when we do launch things. I think because you get so much more used to the process. I think last quarter, what did we have, like basically one new quiz month,
Hmm.
which was a little much. Dialed that back a bit, but I think definitely a lot more nimble on some of the changes that we make, and of course, like testing always whenever we can to see how that improves performance.
For sure. I definitely think we've done a great job of really auditing like what's working, what's not, and let's tweak questions, changing the imagery on the quiz if there is images or icons, and kind of just tweaking things, which is easy enough to do in Octane. So let's see. Matt wants to know what your TikTok strategy is.
Unfortunately, I cannot speak to that so much as I am in the realm of retention. But we're continually just trying to test into that platform and just have fun with it. Again, just with the content that we have, and of course, just exploring what we can do there.
Have you seen interesting insights from doing a quiz audit that helped adjust your quiz for the better?
Yeah, definitely. I think one interesting one, right, was when we realized that having an intro actually caused a higher drop off rate than just jumping right into a quiz. I would say that's one that immediately kind of comes to mind for that.
If that was a good one. Any more questions for Lisa? Well, Lisa, I really appreciate your time today and Matt came in. What is the best thing about Octane AI and what is the thing you wish you could make better?
So the best thing, of course, is just the collection of that zero party data. Like I said before, we use it across so many channels. It's huge for us to be able to have that and to collect it in a way that customers are also having a benefit from. So it's helping to make their experience better, which is it's huge for us as such a community driven brand. Um, for the thing that I would say we wish, of course, we could see more of would definitely be more on the reporting and analytics and attribution side of things. For us, that's super huge. We've started to kind of add some levers where we can, like adding UTM's where possible and things, but having more integrations there, whether with like a direct reporting partner like a Power BI or a Looker, would be huge.
Not surprised you're going to say that. Well, thanks so much for your time today, Lisa. It is always a pleasure. Matt says we're going to work on that. You heard it straight from the CEO. But it's a pleasure working with your team, and it's a pleasure speaking with you. And love, love, love. Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, someone's that's not a question. Sorry. And so I just wanted to thank you for your time today.
Of course, thank you. And thanks for thinking of us. We love our quizzes here, so happy to hop on.